another fun-filled edition of VAVEL Post-Fight Punch. I am Travis Brown, your wonderful editor and lead writer for VAVEL Mixed Martial Arts, which is an international sports site, and I do all the mixed martial arts writing for it. I am here on a busy as hell, once again, MMA weekend. Just in regards to tonight, which is Friday, the 27th of February. We're actually now going into Saturday, the 28th, as we reach the 12:38 hour. Now, I know some people may get mad because, yes, Bellator finished before Invicta did tonight. But since Invicta was more of a pay-per-view format that I was, paying attention to live, I did have Bellator on in the background. So I was able actually to pay attention to both cards at the same time. And, it's funny seeing Dana White in the house at Invicta FC 11, which was headlined by Cris Justino, facing off against Charmaine Not So Sweet Tweet for the 145 strap at Invicta. And then it also featured a co-main of Mizuki, is what she is being called now. No more Inua, just Mizuki, which is some like Madonna shit, so it's badass. Facing the ever-talented prospect out of Mexico, Alexa Grasso. But Dana White was in the house. And how fitting he be in the house. There's a couple things that I want to talk about tonight in regards to him being in the house. And since I am going to follow this right up with Bellator, I'm going to try to get straight to the fucking point with some things. I'm going to try not to ramble as much as I can. But you guys know how I am. If you've been listening to this, I appreciate it. For those who have been downloading it, sharing it on SoundCloud and social media, I really, really appreciate it. This is something that will probably be added to the submissions and slashers page whenever that's up and started. But it's a busy time in mixed martial arts. And as many of you read in my article that came out yesterday, it is a busy time for women's mixed martial arts, especially this weekend. So in a sense, with Ronda Rousey and Kat Zingano, Holly Holm, and Raquel Pennington headlining Saturday night UFC 184, we, in a sense, get the its own preliminary. I don't know what you would really want to call this, but it's just we get all female fights the day before in Invicta FC 11, which is Invicta, the all female mixed martial arts promotion, which does a great job of bringing some of the best fucking fighters in the world, which is one thing that will keep Shannon and crew clicking for some time. And as you see, they're still finding talent. Like I have got to give so much credit to Julie and the girls for finding this talent and bringing them to Invicta, because they are truly showcasing some of the best girls in the world. Outside of XFC, which hopefully they're going to be grabbing some of those girls and bringing them up there too, and maybe getting into Brazil a little bit more as well. But anyway, that's not the main focus of tonight. Tonight we're talking about Cyborg Justino fighting against Tweet. And like I said, Dana White was in the house, and someone had tweeted that he saw what he needed to see because within 46 seconds of the first round, Charmaine Tweet had a broken nose, had hit the canvas twice, and had felt the wrath of one very, very intimidating, very, very still, bad fucking ass Cris Cyborg Justino. And one thing that I'm going to mention also that I think a lot of people need to pay attention to is the fact, look at who is in her corner. All the people who say what you want to say. Tito Ortiz was on television tonight for those watching Bellator. I'm not going to be the person to say that he was either bad for her career or good for her career. I did have the opportunity of meeting Tito when she beat Marluis at Invicta. And, you know, from what I could tell at that time in Kansas City, it seemed like they had a wonderful relationship. I think they had brought Jessica Penne possibly underneath their wing for a little bit too. But it just seemed like it was a very working relationship. I mean, you know, they had always talked about family. And then for people who know, when Dana White came out and explained that, you know, she was dealing with some morons, pretty much is what he was saying, with Ortiz and all those guys, that, you know, some people thought, well, maybe that's the reason why she wasn't getting that look from the UFC. But right now she's got interim heavyweight champion Fabricio Verdum in there, and you know, that's pretty freaking huge. I mean, this guy just stepped in for Anderson Silva to coach Tough Brazil 4. And, I mean, he's interim champion. He's headlining Mexico City against, which we're going to get into a little bit later, because Dana White, you need to listen to me. Everybody going to have to listen to me when I say something a little bit later about Mexico City. And it has to do with two ladies that are on this card. Eric Jackman, if you can feel me out there, Mr. New York Rick, you know what I'm talking about when I'm going to bring this up, because it is something that I believe I told to you down in Houston. And I've been saying this since the minute I've seen these two girls fight. Anyway, we're jumping the gun here. Back to Cyborg and Tweet. Charmaine, great fighter. I love watching Charmaine fight. She is one of those 5-tool type fighters. You know, kind of like a Tanya Evinger, a Tyron Woodley, one of these types of fighters that just has the ability to be successful any place in the cage. Mat, stand up, whatever. Clinch, whatever. Muay Thai background, able to handle it. When you fight somebody like Cyborg, it's just different. And I'm going to give a lot of credit to Charmaine, her team. Big shout out to Babyface, because I know she was out there shooting just Instagram videos like hell. They did a great job of highlighting Charmaine's journey out here, because, I mean, let's be honest, no one gave her a chance. And I mean, and we saw the result. It's what a lot of us expected. Not to take anything away from Charmaine. It's not like she got in the damn cage and ran from the girl. She came at her. And she just got caught, because that's what happens when you fight a woman like Cyborg. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna put this out right now. I don't give a fuck who you are, where you from, and what you do. Until you see a picture with Cyborg with a fucking dick, stop calling her a man. Okay? That is fucking disrespectful. I don't give a shit if she took steroids, if she's taking steroids, yeah, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be happy to see. I love the fact that she was doing kind of the vein thing in her arm, like test me, so I can go fucking fight. I'm clean. You know what I mean? The woman loves fucking fighting. She's a humble champion. She's a great, great person. I'm going to find you. I'll find you. I'm not going to call out my stats. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a fucking fighter or anything like that. I'm just sick of this petty ass fucking world that we live in, where people sit behind a desk or they sit behind a phone and they look at somebody who's great, somebody who is actually putting in an effort to be somebody on this damn forsaken earth, and you just hate. You know, I'm not talking about what anything Ronda is saying about Cyborg. Ronda can say whatever the hell she wants to, because she's a fighter. She gets her ass up. She goes and puts in the hard work, so she has the right to say that, whatever the hell she wants to say. But you peons who are sitting there thinking about rolling or some shit like that, just shut the fuck up, man. Enjoy greatness. Be positive, okay? It's too much negativity and hating going on in the world. Speaking of positive, quick sidetrack. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kinsey, great job on the commentary in certain portions. Very, very muddled. I need you guys to stay a little bit focused. We need to highlight these girls. We need to make these. There are fucking stars in the roster of Invicta, and they're only going to be stars. It's no different than wrestling, okay? Let me educate y'all on something real quick. And you could call me a wrestling nerd or whatever the fuck you want to. And I'm sorry for my language tonight, but I'm very passionate when it comes to my girls for Invicta, okay? Anybody who knows me knows this. Just like wrestling, if you have announcers that are sitting there paying attention to something else, paying attention to something in the crowd, not really giving thoughtful, even sometimes provocative words to talk and describe these warriors inside of this cage, then why the hell should anybody who's watching and pay attention? You know what I mean? Like, just put it on mute and just watch the people fight. Talk about something. You guys are both knowledgeable. Julie is great when it's time to talk about what the girls are good at and the competition they face and what else is going on out in the world of mixed martial arts. Julie is fantastic. TJ, I need you to not compliment her on the card every 5 minutes to the point where she has to even say it. And I'm just going to leave it at that. That sums up the entire announcing situation on that. I'm just going to leave it at that. But other than that, man, you guys are great, and you did a wonderful, fantastic job tonight. Now, back to the fights. So, Cyborg, what's next for her? Say what you want to say, man. She's going to the UFC. They are going to try. It is a reason. Look at how the stars are aligning, people. It's not that hard to figure out. Yes, Batman is my favorite comic book character. Daredevil is my favorite comic book character in Marvel because these dudes are smart. And they read past the lines. They don't just see shit for what it is and take it for what it is. They actually think about it, calculate it, formulate it, go. This is all being set up. After tonight, though, I'm real curious how Ronda Rousey's feeling all about this. Say what you want to say, Ronda. I know you're the baddest bitch in the world. That's no denying. I'm not here to say you are. In my opinion, doesn't even fucking matter. Okay, who am I? I'm a writer for a website that gets, over 1,000 people reading my articles, each article whenever I talk about you. Okay, like that's who I am. So it doesn't matter what I think, but I'm still going to tell you what I think. And what I think is, as great as you are in striking now, and as great as you are with judo now, and or as you've always been with your judokan techniques and your ground game that you are able to possess that no one ever talks about with you, which is a joke. I think you want to fight this fight up at 145. You're gonna need something. Like, I lift weights every day. I'm around 220. I try to be swole. I don't know. I see 10 pounds off of me, and it doesn't really make that much of a difference. When I look at somebody like Cyborg, and I see 10 pounds off of her, I don't really think it makes that much of a fucking difference, man. The woman has power. So yes, test her. They did test her. She's clean. See what happens from there. But she's fighting in the UFC. We have some contenders for sure at 135. I think Jessica Ai is a great contender. I want to say Sarah Kaufman too, but I just think every single time she throws a punch, that arm is just going to get snatched. I don't see anything past that except for something that Ronda's going to do. We've seen what happened with Davis and McMahon. Betcha Korea, I believe, is the most well-rounded mixed martial arts fighter, woman fighter, who could bring those types of game. And peep this. Watch Carla Esperanza, Cookie Monster. Like, go back and watch Tough, man, and then watch a Betcha Korea fight. Like, I'm not saying that Carla's like mimicking her or anything like that, but her evolution into becoming this complete mixed martial arts fighter that Cookie Monster is right now, and she's fucking fantastic, and she blew me away on the show. That's how Betch fights. Like, and that was proved even more when she fought Shayna Baszler, and we were able to see her ground game and to see her hit her guards in top positions the way that she was. So I think that she presents a problem. Now, Jessica Andrade lost, which destroyed me in my run of the Brazilian women, who I think are going to eventually take over. Because I just think, I don't know, I see it cyclical. Like the men from Brazil are all going out, but here come all the women from Brazil coming in. And when you got girls like Kalindra, Ferrar, and them out there in the worlds, I mean, it's just kind of hard not to see this happening, this evolution happening. But we got some badass fighters everywhere. Um, but like I said, man, I could just see her in the UFC. But I need to get off of this fight. Like the fight was fucking 46 seconds. So there's no reason for me to keep going on. But I mean, like everybody said, the real question about the whole entire weekend is what is going to be next for Cyborg after this fight. And no disrespect to Charmaine whatsoever. I am so glad she took this fight. I'm so glad she was game to go after this fight. And Charmaine, go watch Charmaine's fights. Go watch her fight Veronica Rothenhauser. Go watch her fight all her fights back that she used to do on Access TV when it was HD Net and all that stuff on YouTube and stuff. Just go back and watch it, man. She's a complete mixed martial arts fighter. She's a great fighter. So go watch. So she's no fucking just joke. I don't give a fuck what Ronda. Yeah, Ronda, you beat her in 10 seconds or whatever with the arm bar a long time ago. Like, like you're better, she's better, sure. But yeah, I'm just saying, don't take away from anything from her. Now, yeah, let me stretch as we talk about two of my favorite fighters in mixed martial arts, men and women, and that is Mizuki and Alexa Grasso. Now, Alexa Grasso, I've become very fond of in the past 3 fights. Because I didn't know really too much about her until I saw her come into Invicta. And, just to kind of include Irene Aldana in this, right, just on this part of the conversation, Team Grasso is fucking legit, dude. Like, they're nasty with these 2 girls. Like, that little video. And let me also sidebar a little bit for this. Big props to Shannon, UFC TV, and everybody that was involved. I wish they would have cut up the weigh-in. It kind of helped because it almost felt like there was kind of like a little Dana influence going on. Like, we only got 8 fights on this card. Let's put some video in here that will make sure that Bellator is ending just in time for everybody to see the co-main event, and then Cyborg and Tweet. I'm not saying that it was done on purpose, but I just kind of feel like it was done on purpose. But anyway, earlier, before Irene's fight, the video that they showed of Team Grasso with her and Alexa in the gym training together and working with their coaches and stuff like that, man, if that don't get you out of your fucking seat and make you want to go punch some bag or jump some rope or something, I don't know like, you're just not alive. Like, I'm sorry, like, that shit was great. And it just shows how hard working these 2 girls are, and it translates to the cage. Mizuki is seriously my favorite fighter. And it really hurts when I see that now she is with 4 losses on her young career. But she is young. The girl is 20 or 21, because I know one of them's 20, one of them's 21. I think Alexa's 21 and Mizuki's 20, because I remember Mizuki turning 18 for that one Kansas City fight against Beck Rowdy Rawlings. They went at it as expected, man. The surprising thing of the fight that everybody was remarking on, which was the truth, is the fact that when the fight went down to the ground, where Mizuki, which, personal disclaimer, and Mizuki, if you hear this ever, I love you. I apologize for saying this, but I hate when you go to the ground. I can't stand it. You have such amazing stand-up. She is just a great fighter to watch, and then you bring in Alexa, and it's just, oh my God, like, I could watch that. I'm gonna watch that fight about 3 more times, and just because I just want to see certain things. I want to see punches I know I missed. I want to see shots that I know Mizuki landed, but I didn't see because I was looking at Grasso's leg kicks that were coming after the combinations that she was landing every time. It was a work of art. just like Mizuki's fight with Carolina, it was a great thing. And that's why I hope that's who they match Alexa up with next, because I think it would become another amazing striking affair. But if they match Carolina up with Katja for the strawweight title, which could be up next, and I'm thinking Barb Honchak will probably be defending her 125 strap at whatever the next Invicta is. I got a feeling that Alexa may kind of be on the side burner for a while, which is fine. She just fought in December, which I'm going to totally just contradict what I said in a minute when I'm talking about Mexico City, baby. I'm telling you, that's my closer is Mexico City, and I gotta calm the fuck down because I still got to talk about Bellator here in a second. But back to the co-main event, the girls went at it. It was great. The surprising factor that Alexa controlled the ground, actually got Mizuki in a bunch of submission trouble over and over and over again. Looks like she possibly broke her nose. I'll have to check and see what they say later. But yeah, it looks this girl's a star. If anybody listened to, which I think the last time I checked there was about like over 700 views on it. But the interview that I did with Grasso after Invicta FC 10. Watterson and Tiburcio. I'm now sound like Julie right now. Tiburcio. The thing I'm butchering this woman's Brazilian name, but Invicta FC 10. When I talked to Alexa, I was asking her if someone was working with her on her English, and she said that she didn't have anybody working with her, and I told her you need to. If somebody in your city, in your school, in your neighborhood, in your whatever, whoever you can, get your coaches to find somebody, whatever, because you're going to be a star. And now at 7-0, just taking out seriously one of the top 15 strawweights in the world. This woman is ready, UFC ready right now. I loved hearing, even though it was completely far-fetched, and yes, Fedor was on Bellator again today. It's one of the weird things about fights when there's fights going on, different places, people are in Connecticut, people are out in Los Angeles, and they're mentioning each other without trying. Small fight world. Hashtag fight family. They were talking about Grasso's composure and how it was very similar to Fedor's, and I'm not going to go there and say that that's true, but I mean, you cannot watch this woman without a smile on your face. I mean, from the minute they announce her name and the crowd loves her. Oh, and let me call out real quick this. Foreigners. Anybody outside of America. This includes you Canadians and Mexicans too. Okay? And possibly even some people in Hawaii and Alaska, because I don't know. Do not do chants for your fighter if your fighter is fighting another foreign fighter, because their people also do chants. Now, if it's like a half and half crowd and your people are doing their thing, they people are doing their thing, that's different, okay? But when you show up and you're the voice in the house, you got the most. You got the juice, you know what I mean? Don't do that. Because you're going to end up getting the other fighter hyped too, because that other fighter is going to tap into whatever tribal fucking chant y'all are saying and go at it. And I saw Mizuki get a little bit up whenever they started chanting for Alexa, and I think some of those Mexican people realized it too, because that's why that chant went away for a second. So I'm just telling you guys, like, these are the little things that I observe when I'm watching these fights. But back to the fights. That was just, God, that was just a fantastic fight to watch. I could see it over and over and over again. And the best thing about it, Rose Namajunas, JoJo Calderwood, all you girls, all you 115ers, Felice, all you 115ers, Cookie Monster, even, I'm even going to say Jessica Aguilar, if you finally get yourself out of World Series and go over to the UFC so you can really show everybody you're the top strawweight in the world because you're fighting them, and some of you XFC girls, you know, we got Joanna Jurczyk and all those girls up there, 115. Straw weights, man, God, I'm telling you. Like, and Julie said it best tonight, man. Straw weights could possibly be one of the top divisions in mixed martial arts, period, for women. And I actually said, to me, in my article that I wrote yesterday, it reminds me a lot of the welterweight and the 150, the 170 and the 155 division in men's mixed martial arts, because just of how stacked it is. It's just stacked, man. Killers, top 20, can take you out, anybody. And we had two of them, and they went at it, and Alexa gets the win by the decision. 20-21, y'all. That's how old these girls are. So guess what? Right. We're going to be seeing them for a minute, as long as they continue fighting, and I really, really hope they continue fighting. Speed is killer. One of the fights that I was kind of iffy on with the decision, but, you know, I would say after really thinking about it more, the feature bout between Deanna Bennett, who was dropping down herself to strawweight for this. This girl has dropped from bantamweight to freaking flyweight, and I thought she was going to stay at flyweight, and I liked her at flyweight. I really, really hope she goes back up at flyweight, because I thought she was right outside of the door of somebody that can be challenging Barb Honchak. So, I mean, she said tonight that if she eats healthy, Deanna Bennett, the Argentine assassin, she said that she likes fighting. I guess she likes fighting at that weight because she said if she eats healthy, she ends up being a smaller person. I cannot say that for a fact when I look at you in the cage, my dear, because you looked a lot bigger than she looked like Michelle Watterson at 115. That's just not, like, you girls are 125ers. I'm just telling you, and you guys got the bodies for it. You got the speed and everything, and the power and everything. But hands off to Norma Ruda Center, who, and a big apologies for her name being butchered over and over and over again. I don't know why. But, you know, after losing her fight to JoJo Calderwood in Invicta, and then taking a fight outside of Invicta, and then coming back on short notice, man, what a fight for short notice, to take it to Deanna, and actually did a little bit of showboating and stuff in the fight as well, which was completely unexpected. I actually thought Norma had a lot of great moments in that fight where it should have been a split, or even a little bit closer to draw-ish type in my regards. Now, of course, Deanna had her moments. She's accurate as shit, and lit her up a couple times. But once Norma, okay, this is kind of how I saw this. Let me try to explain this as best as I can. And I'm sorry, I know you fighters fucking hate me because I don't. I'm just saying shit. You like, motherfucker, you don't know what the hell you talking about. But hold on, let me try to explain this after I take this drink real quick. Still looking for sponsors for the post-fight punch, including, pre-workout drinks. Those would still work too. I usually hit the gym up before the fights anyway, and then I freeze whatever I leave left over in my post-workout drink, and I do it. Now I know y'all all gonna go steal my shit and have y'all little post-workout Slurpees and shit in your house. So, and you're welcome. But okay, in the Norma Ruda fight, it kind of seemed to me that Deanna had a game plan where she was just going to be as busy as possible, flurry in her face, like, she knows she has pop. Everybody knows she has a little bit of pop, and I think once she saw that she could, because she stunned Norma a couple times early, but not enough to really deter her. I mean, she kept throwing punches back at her, even though she was getting hit. So it almost seemed as if Deanna said, "Okay, I'm not going to be able to knock this girl out. So if I stay busy enough with flurries and combinations, it should be enough to to prove that I am the better fighter for tonight. I'm not going to say anything else other than that. I don't want you motherfuckers killing me for saying what you thought I was about to say. But it seemed as if Ruda kind of in the middle of the second round was like, I'm kind of cool on that. I actually want to fight you. So all these little flurries that you're throwing at me, they're landing, but they're not really doing anything. So if you actually want to fight me, let's fight. And that's when she started pressing more. Now, all throughout the night, I love Norma's footwork. Like, she cut her off all throughout the cage. And that's one of the things that I thought was kind of pushing the fight to more of a split or a draw-ish type decision, because we got to start doing something about scoring where we give fighters credit for staying in the damn fight. Like, somebody like Vincent Henderson who's like, let me avoid this big ass motherfucker and then I'm gonna fucking get you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's kind of understandable. But for the people who constantly cut off the cage, even if they're getting ate up, like Mizuki was doing tonight. Someone that comes to mind who's great at cutting off the cage in women's mixed martial arts, who also fights for Invicta, Megan Mayhem Goodwin. She's a cutter off of the cage. Like, we need to start giving credit to fighters for doing that, because that means they are bringing the fight to the fighter. They are initiating the pressure. And I know there are judges out there who give credit to fighters for constant pressure. This is a form of that, in my opinion. Like, my opinion. That's all I'm saying. So when I see somebody like Center with great footwork, cutting off the cage, canceling angles where Deanna can attack and nullifying certain things she can do, I see that as positive for that fighter. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But Deanna definitely landed some shots. I'm just with her. I'm curious. I'm just curious on what she's gonna do. Like, what division are you gonna be in? Like, if Shannon lets you go back and forth between all, more power to you, sister. Do what you're going to do. But if she wants to stay down at 115, I mean, well, then that's something that we can start thinking about, like we do some of these other strawweights. When you have the looming strawweight division in the UFC, you can start thinking about, as they progress up the ladder in Invicta, will it be a fighter who is going to actually challenge for the title in Invicta, or be on the cusp or gaining momentum going that way, and then just get snatched away by Dana White and them. I don't know. But that leads me to the next fight. And that leads me to Mexico City, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm bringing it in right now. Because we are, God, I've been talking my ass off. We're at 33 minutes right now. And I'm going to kind of summarize up everything else here in a minute. And talk on a couple key points. But I'm going to bring Mexico City into this as I talk about Colleen Schneider and Irene Aldana's fight. Colleen Schneider has one of the most impressive physiques in fighting, men and women. The woman is in impeccable shape. And, taking a fight, short notice, whatever, only women of her caliber, in my opinion, and even like Norma, staying in shape, that's how you do it. Fighters, stay in shape. Stop drinking beer unless it's after the fight. Don't eat junk food unless it's for celebration or something like that. Moderation. Stay in shape, because people get injured. People get sick. People back out of fights. Some people can't get clearance into the country. This is an international sport. Your coach's phone could be ringing at any time saying, I need you for a fight. And I know a bunch of you are saying, well, Travis, then how come I don't have a fight? And all I can say is I don't know. But Irene Aldana, Team Grasso, Mexico City, hard hitting, came out, landed a clean shot on Colleen, stunned her, immediately grabbed her back, sunk it in, dragged her down to the ground on her back, locked in the submission. Beast. Beast. Like, they got a 115er with probably the fastest hands in the planet, with just a great all-around game, jiu-jitsu, leg kicks, and everything. And then they got this girl at 135 who's snatching chicks down, submitting them, dropping them with one-shot power. Okay? Here's what I want to say. I put this in my notes. Mexico City, UFC 188. Fabricio and Mr. Cain Velasquez. Heavyweight champion, Mexico City. Card's already starting to fill up. Now, my opinion, Tisha Torres, Angela Hill on that card, no problem with that at all. Be a great fight. Missed the boat. Tisha Torres, Angela Hill, both great fighters. I enjoy watching both those girls fight. Tisha is really one of my top favorite fighters to watch fight. Missed the boat. Don't miss the boat again, UFC. I'm talking to you, Dana White, Lorenzo Fertitta, Zuffa. Put Irene Aldana on the Mexico City card. Por favor. You know what I'm saying? Technically, you should have both of these girls on the card, which is why I'm saying you missed the boat with the strawweight. No disrespect to Angela Hill at all. You won your last fight. You won your way into the house. Great fighter. Young in the career. Tons of upside and potential. Could end up being one of the best strikers in women's 115. Tisha Torres, a little bit more of a name, was possibly going to challenge for a title in Invicta before they all got snatched. I would have loved to see Alexa Grasso fight Tisha Torres in Mexico City, UFC 188, June 13th. So, I don't know who the opponent can be. Maybe Jessica I. But please, can you get us? And Jessica I is probably a little bit too high up there. Yeah, Jessica's too high up there. Jessica's contender person. Trying to think. It may take me a minute. I'm going to have to come back. I'm going to have to tweet something out on who I think she could possibly fight. I would pull up fight rankings and stuff right there, but I'm already taking way too much time with this card. Yeah, I would say Mexico City. Put her on that card. It would be great. They bring people. They bring people from Mexico City to Houston and Los Angeles. Come on. Backyard 135 fight. Perfect. You know what? I got somebody. Elizabeth Phillips. Where you at? Perfect. Both girls will strike. Both girls will stand and bang. Elizabeth would, I'm sure, enjoy going down to Mexico City. Do it. Do that. I need to see that girl fight again anyway. Okay. Moving on to the rest of the card. Jamie Moyle, I actually picked against J.J. Aldrich. Nothing in particular. I just think that Jamie is more of an aggressive fighter. I like she's more of a has more of a brawling style. JJ has fought some beast and is an amazing fighter too. I just think her initiation into the fight is a little bit timid. And when you're doing that against someone like Jamie Moyle, it can get you caught. Because when you like Jamie Moyle said, she was utilizing her range, but she got underneath it and attacked. And that's fighters like JJ, that's how you have to go after them. That's what has been happening to Jessamine Duke. Like people see your range, we see your kicks. Okay, that's how far it goes up. Get underneath that, fight. Then there's where the fight is, and that's not a good night. But both fighters gave it their all. JJ, you fought a good fight, girl. Like you didn't even give up. You didn't even freaking tap out. Like you do not hold your head down low at all. I know it's tough. It sucks. Fuck everything. I know. But you fought an amazing fight, and you're part of a historic weekend. All you women remember that. Whether you won or lost tonight. Even the girls who fought in Legacy tonight. No matter where you are, I don't give a crap how big or small the promotion is. If you are a woman fighting this weekend, you tell everybody that you fought on a historic weekend for mixed martial arts. Amy Montenegro implored the biggest Cain Velasquez scheme I've seen in women's mixed martial arts. Brianna Van Buren may be the John Dotson of their division, because homegirl is a ninja. And not only is she a ninja, but she has a fireman's carry that the Steiner brothers would be fucking jealous of. True story. I had no idea, and I believe I was watching that portion of the fight on the tablet. When she flipped over Amy the first time, I had no idea what the hell happened. All I know is I saw feet go in the air. That was an amazing fight. That's a fight that you hate to see anyone lose. But Amy did just enough to edge, those last two rounds, and once she got Brianna in trouble, she just really had no answer for her. Amy's a grinder. I'm not sure that style is going to translate too much higher in the division, because there's going to be some people who are going to be able to get away from that, and every single time they separate, it's going to be something coming, something tough coming. But Amy's a great fighter. She utilized her game plan. She implored it. She had moments on stand-up and moments on the ground. But like I said, the dirty boxing that she showcased, Cain would have stood up and been very happy to see, because she definitely she put it on her. Christine Stanley may be the most exciting fighter in mixed martial arts right now, period. Moving on. No, I would never want to be kicked by this girl ever in my life. I would die. And most of us would. Even people who are CrossFit athletes who are way crazy, physically fit, insane, if this chick kicks you in your head, you will die. And you won't see it coming. Ladies and gentlemen, we have met the Uriah Hall of women's mixed martial arts. And her name is Christine Stanley. And she has green hair, a bunch of tattoos, a look on her face that is going to be kind of hard to figure out. Because she's kind of smiling and she's kind of serious at the same time. But more than anything, she looks like she's really enjoying the fight that she's in. And a lot of credit to Laura. Stepped in and took the fight on short notice. But after the first couple hits, it was hard for her. And she kept going, man. She was not going to stop. And she kept going. And but Christine is a beast, man. God. That's another person. I need gifs of her all over my Tumblr account. Just kicking people in the head. I need somebody, if you're out there listening, Thank you for sharing. Thank you for downloading the VAVEL post-fight punch. We're talking Invicta FC 11. RKO ain't got shit on Christine Stanley. Make the gifts. Put it on Reddit. Make it happen. And then the last fight on the card, Aspen Ladd versus Anna Vidal. Anna Corina Vidal. That announcer is fantastic that they have. I love the Invicta announcer. Good opening fight. A fight that I thought actually Vidal would. It kind of looked like it was in her favor, and she was going to be the one to kind of to pull it out. And out of nowhere, that wasn't the case anymore. Aspen, amazing sweep, got on top, and in the first round was able to employ the ground and pound. She's, I would not want to be. I mean, she almost looked like Cyborg, like Justino when she got on top of her. So yeah, that's somebody that you probably. It was great to see 19-year-old, I believe, Aspen Ladd get her first win in Invicta. And Vidal, I'm sure we'll see again, too, because she's an exciting fighter as well. Both of the girls were great fighters. And I believe that was the first fight. Was that the fight that I didn't like the stoppage on? Which fight was that? Yeah, I think that was a fight that I thought was stopped too early. Because Anna was still moving underneath. And if she had a chance, she was still defending intelligently. And it almost looked like she was looking for something too. So I don't know. But one thing that I will say, and I don't mean to sacrifice a win or a loss with this statement, but you could tell after that fight that the refereeing buckled up a lot, and it was some great officiating for the rest of the night. But yeah, that is Invicta FC 11. There's a lot of stuff that I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back next week, possibly. I'm thinking about doing a recap next week. That's gonna just, in a sense, kind of talk about the promotion in general and some things that I think they could do to really improve on the product to make sure that this is something that people are gonna want to see when some of these stars leave, because they have the ability to build great stars from the promotion because of what Julie and them are able to bring, and it can only get better from here. But I loved seeing the open workouts and all the attention that was brought on the promotion. But I want to see that every fight from here on out. We may not get John Morgan or any of these guys to come to Invicta, Honchak in Porto or whatever, but I want to see the open workouts, get a gym. I want all that. Just like I talk about Bellator, World Series of Fighting, I will say the same thing to you, Shannon Knapp and Invicta. Make your fighters into stars. Make your fighters into stars. They all want to be anyway. They all have Instagram, Snapchat, all that stuff. But like I said, we'll get there another day. Great card. Very, very exciting card. I love the fact that we had a lot of finishes at the beginning, which were totally unexpected. But yeah, I'm done. Thank you for listening. VAVEL Post Fight Punch. I am Travis Brown. You can follow me on Twitter at Travis NyQuil, spelled just like the medicine, but with an extra L to make sure you're doing it well. And read my shit at VAVEL MMA. You can Google search that. It'll pull it up. Or you can go to VAVEL.com. If you are in America, it will go to the American site, and you will see pictures of fighters, and that's me. Those are my articles. Or you can just click MMA department, and it will take you to the articles. But I really appreciate you guys taking a listen. We got a Bellator recap coming up, which I'm kind of debating if I'm going to do now. might have to wait for that one in the morning. And then we got a UFC 184 tomorrow. Next up for Invicta, we will have to see, because that's just kind of how Shannon does it. And I really wish I was in LA right now to harass the hell out of her about it. But thank you for listening to the VAVEL Post-Fight Punch. You guys have a wonderful rest of the weekend. And I'm going to come up with an ending phrase for y'all one day. But for now, deuces.